Tonight, President Tinubu reiterates determination to prioritize welfare of Nigerians. Senate okays life imprisonment for drug traffickers. And on the foreign scene, Singapore hangs third drug trafficker in a week. Good evening, the major reports. I am Babatunde Fanopo. President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his determination to prioritize the welfare of the generality of Nigerians as the reforms continue to bear fruit. He gave the assurance in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, during a meeting with the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Madam Kristalina Georgieva. A statement by the presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga explained that the president told the IMF managing director that his government is working on a comprehensive reform of taxation to stimulate the economy further. Mr. Onanuga added that the president acknowledged that the massive economic reform efforts have created a side effect that affected the purchasing power of Nigerians. While hailing the IMF chief on her re-election for a second term in office, President Tinubu appreciated her support in implementing the reforms and called for more institutional backing for stability and sustainable growth. The president emphasized the critical need for educational access, adding that substantial resources must be invested to stimulate the much-needed infrastructural development in the country. The managing director, who expressed a desire to visit Nigeria, hailed the Tinubu administration's economic reforms and their positive indicators. She assured the president of support in diversifying the Nigerian economy, specifically loaded the social investment programs as a way of cushioning the effect of the most vulnerable and promised the assistance of the body in this regard. The federal government has said it will collaborate with the World Bank to expand Nigeria's credit support funds by $50 million to reach more young people, including businesses led by going women, people with disabilities, and young rural. Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Adeleke, who communicated this when he hosted the World Bank team led by World Bank economist Mr. Maiswa Strether in Abuja, revealed that the partnership will provide jobs directly or indirectly to 10 million youth within the next 5 years. Comrade Olawande said the forum would enable him to update the team on the various activities and engagement of the ministry in the past months. He noted that the current reality showed that 60 million youths are in the labor market and an additional 5.5 million will join the labor market every year. According to him, almost 58% of Nigeria's informal workforce are young people, adding that the challenges hinged on deficient skills for the job market, relevant vocational training, and lack of access to capital and fund safety with an infrastructural deficit. The federal government has called for an urgent action to reduce the growing impact of climate change on its regions. The issues were highlighted during a side event hosted by the Federal Ministry of Regional Development at COP29 Baku, Azerbaijan. The Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, stressed the severity of climate challenges facing the country, noting that agriculture, infrastructure, public health, and livelihoods were at risk. The minister said the effects of climate change are evident across Nigeria, stating that decisively steps must be taken to protect the people, environment, and the future. He said the Northwest has seen unpredictable rainfall result in severe flooding, damaging infrastructure, and displacing residents. Momo explained that nearly all the region's primary forests have been lost as a result of human activities, with oil exploration and acid rain further compounding the effect of climate change. The minister called for strengthened partnerships with local and international stakeholders to secure funding and support for the plan. Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Adewale Egbedu, says the 2025 budget defense exercise for ministries, departments, agencies, and parastatals will commence on the 2nd of next month. Honorable Egbedu disclosed this at plenary, noting that the House will be thorough and just while exercising its duties. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosin Oladokun has the details.
Osun State House of Assembly adjourned its sitting reached an advanced stage towards the timely passage of Osun State Consumer Protection Agency Establishment Bill 2024, a bill which received adequate and intensive debate at the Committee of O. When passed into law, it will protect the rights of buyers and expose manufacturers of any substandard products. At the Committee of O, the chairman, Honorable Adewale Egbedu, emphasized the need to fix the clauses and adjust identified gray areas before the final passage of the bill. In the course of the plenary, Honorable Adewale Egbedu read before the floor a private member bill, Osun State Broadcasting Corporation Amendment Number 1, Bill 2024, drafted and sponsored by the Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Honorable Adekunle Oladimeji. According to the bill, Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, when passed into law, tends to enhance nomenclature of the state-owned broadcast outfit by ensuring that 4 general managers' services shall be appointed by governor and shall be the chief executives and accounting officer responsible for the implementation of policies and programs as may affect each of the 4 services in their day-to-day running of the service. However, Osun State House Assembly Speaker Honorable Adewale Egbedu notified our ministries, departments, agencies, and parastatals to make themselves available as 2025 budget defense exercise commences 2nd day of next month.
The appearance of ministries, departments, and agencies, FDAs of government, including state-owned data institutions before this honorable for the presentation of year 2025 draft estimate has been approved to commence on Monday, 2nd December 2024.
Oluwatosin Oladokun, OSBC News.
The State Commissioner for Political Matters and Intergovernmental Relations, Dr. B. Odunlade, has harped on the topic periodic intellectual engagement for the civil servant in enhancing effectiveness and efficiency in public service as a panacea in transforming creditably the policies of government at all levels. He gave the insight in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, while declaring open a 3-day seminar for public servants. Soya Honoridi facing the details.
Seminar on the implementation of the 5-point agenda of Governor Adeleke, the State Commissioner for Political Affairs and Intergovernmental Relations, Dr. B. Odunlade, said the selected senior public servants will learn more modern methods of implementing government policies to ensure that citizens benefit from government's good intentions. Comrade Odunlade said government policies needed to be nurtured and fine-tuned by technocrats to spread the dividends of democracy across the state.
When you want now coordinate these policies, these are 5-point agenda, as it said. So this set of rules or plans that are used, that are put together to enhance the what we call value addition to governance. So you are putting things together so that people can use best practices to realize the presentation or the enjoyment of the dividends of democracy by the citizenry. And you know there is a marriage between governance and politics.
The special advisor to the governor on policy coordination, Prince Olaniyi Oyeniyi, implored the participants drawn from across the government's ministry, departments, and agencies to make judicious use of the opportunity provided by the seminar and demonstrate knowledge acquired to improve service delivery.
This synergy between agencies of government, ministries, because the jobs are interwoven. And if there is no coordination between them, if everybody is doing his own, I'm doing my own in my ministry, you are doing your own in your agency, it will not all go well for the smooth run of the government.
The interactive session, coordinated by Professor Taiwo Olaiya, head of the Department of Public Administration of Bafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, afforded the participants the opportunity to avail themselves with minute detail of enhancing effectiveness and efficiency in public service delivery that resonate with global standard. A participant, Mrs. Ibilola Daudu, said the seminar has widened the scope of knowledge for the participants.
You see, that knowledge is not limited to any man. So we have been enlarged in our scope of thinking, of visualizing things, and even analyzing. So it's been very, very, very good.
Sonia Ononidi, reporting for OSBC News.
The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has disclosed that the National Assembly is considering amendment to 161 areas in the 1999 Constitution in the ongoing review. Briefing newsmen after a closed-down session with governors of the 36 states of the Federation during their meeting in Abuja, Kalu said governors are critical stakeholders in the process, hence the need for their inputs. Honorable Kalu said the federal lawmaking body is considering the issues of state police, electoral reform, local government autonomy, diaspora voting, autonomy of the Independent National Electoral Commission, pre- and post-election consents, and court rulings on electoral matters, among others, in the review. He said the governors were in support of the initiative and ready to welcome the lawmakers when they start visiting various states for a public hearing. The Deputy Speaker emphasized the importance of collaboration between the Forum and the committee proposing the establishment of a one-stop shop framework to align state-level priorities with the constitutional review process. The Senate has amended the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act to prescribe life imprisonment for individuals found guilty of storing, transporting, or concealing illicit drugs and substances. The amendment was adopted during plenary presided over by the Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin, following wide support for the senators. The rejigging reflects a harmonized position of the Senate and the House of Representatives on Section 2 of the NDLEA Act. The House had earlier passed an amendment prescribing life imprisonment for drug traffickers, while the Senate had proposed death penalty. A while chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Tahir Bangunu, who presented the harmonized version of the Senate to the Senate, urged lawmakers to adopt the House's position of life imprisonment, arguing that enforcing the death penalty could lead to execution of over 900 accused persons currently awaiting trial for drug-related offenses. 3 states yet to submit their positions on the state police have been given a 1-week ultimatum. The National Economic Council gave the order after its 146th meeting explained that the council would take its decision on the creation of state police next month. The NEC, chaired by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, is a critical economic advisory body to the President. Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri, while speaking with newsmen, said council was updated with the submission of the establishment of the state police, noting that 33 states have submitted their positions, while 3 states such as Adamawa, Kebbi, Kwara, and the FCT are yet to submit their positions. Governor Jiri said the council mandated these remaining states and the FCT to make their submissions within the next 1 week and resolved to present a consolidated state's position on the state police to the National Economic Council at the next meeting. You are welcome to our sports segment. International Sam Soje has admonished the Nigerian Football Federation and other sports stakeholders to put up their thinking caps to fully prepare the Super Eagles for the upcoming 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Speaking with newsmen in Ole in Delta State, Soje said his admonition was as a result of not too impressive performance of the Super Eagles lately. The ex-Super Eagles player said he was still nursing the pains from the 2-1 home defeat of the Super Eagles by Rwanda, lamenting that the Nigerian players were not positioning themselves to win the game. While bemoaning the lukewarm attitude of the players when it comes to playing for Nigeria, he advised them to see the importance of the game and start applying themselves to it to bring honor to themselves and the country. Following this development, Samsoje then cautioned the NFF to wake up from sleep and face reality now to avoid further defeats. The ex-international footballer also advised the NFF to beam its searchlight on the Super Eagles coach, Austin Eguava, saying at the moment his result is not looking good, so NFF has to look into it and make sure they do the right things. And on the foreign scene, Singapore has armed a 55-year-old man for drug trafficking. Its narcotics enforcement agency said this is the city-state's third execution in a week as the United Nations called for her halt. The UN and rights groups say capital punishment has no proven deterrent effect and have called for it to be abolished, but Singaporean officials insist it has helped make the country one of Asia's safest. Singapore's Central Narcotics Bureau said the death sentence was carried out for Rosman Abdullah, who was convicted for trafficking 57.43 grams of heroin. Under the country's tough drug laws, the death penalty kicks in for any amount above a 15-gram threshold. The hanging at Shanghai prison followed the November 15 execution of 2 men, a 39-year-old Malaysian and a 53-year-old Singaporean. And with that, we've come to the end of the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Michael Adeleke. I am Babatule Fano for saying thank you for watching. Good night.